Tramway Handicap was rode over 1400 metres yesterday, Group 3. Neeson made one act fair of it. Joe Pride's always had a very good opinion of this horse and certainly showed the way yesterday. What were your thoughts on Neeson, mate?
Looking at Neeson in the yard, I actually thought he looked a bit underdone. He looked better than his first up run, but I just thought there was always that room for improvement. But he jumped well, settled into a nice position, and you know, Pete Roble deserves a pretty good rap because it was a great ride. He sat in just behind the leaders. Coming up to the rise, he pretty much took the lead, and he looked like never getting beat, to be honest. He's still got a lot of improvement in him, and I think he's Epsom bound from memory. So it should be a nice race for him. He'll appreciate the 1600.
Also, he'll probably get in on a pretty good weight.
Yep, it'll be very hard to beat.
Yeah, in a race like that, but a different sort of pressure. What else did you like in the race?
Cannonball was an interesting runner. I think it's probably the best run it's had since it's been in Australia. He's probably looking for a few of the sprinting races further down the track. And I thought Herculean Prince was a good effort first up, and I think once he gets over a little bit more ground, he'd be very hard to beat.
Yeah, look, I couldn't agree more. Neeson's obviously a very nice horse. His second up performances have been outstanding always, and he lived up to that yesterday. Cannonball was a surprise yesterday because Kay Waterhouse isn't much of a rap for this horse, and when I saw her interviewed a couple of weeks back, she didn't have a lot of good things to say about him, but maybe appreciated the wet track yesterday and raced really well, but he's not a horse I'm going to follow, mate. He's not going to get my money, I don't think. Yeah, Herculean Prince, he's right on target for a middle distance race. His effort yesterday was tough. 1400 isn't his go, and he likes to dictate from in front. That's how he's won all his races so far in Australia under Waterhouse, and once he gets over a mile and further, he'll be able to stroll along and find a posse up front and be hard to beat. He likes to roll along, and he hasn't had that so far this prep. He's chased the whole time, so much improved effort by him. I thought Rick Worthington's horse, Saintwood, was making really good ground towards the end of the race. You know, he's again much too short for his liking. Look for him over a handicap race over 2,000 metres. I think Saintwood can certainly win a race this campaign. Apart from that, Striker I thought was very disappointing. You know, he promised a lot as a 3-year-old, and he just hasn't lived up to that potential. Maybe the heavy track didn't suit him, but I'm sick of making an excuse for that bloke. Besides that, Snappy Halle, John O'Shea's galloper, didn't enjoy the best run in the race, but he's much better than that, and possibly the heavy track and getting back in the field pattern didn't really suit those sort of horses yesterday in part, so he could be forgiven also, but I think all kudos goes to Neeson yesterday.
Definitely.
Alright, that's a Tramway.